Hello, space explorers. Imagine launching a giant rocket into the sky. For years, the US government paid for the launch pads and equipment like a parent making sure the playground is safe. But now, the US Space Force has announced a huge new rule: if you want to play in the space sandbox, you need to help pay for the sand and toys. This is a massive shift for the space industry, affecting everyone from big rocket companies to small startups. The government is stepping back, asking private companies to open their wallets. It's a signal that the era of government-funded space exploration is evolving into a new age where business and innovation take the lead. The government used to own the only two roads to the stars, Cape Canaveral and Vandenberg. Now, so many companies want to use these roads that there's a traffic jam. The Space Force says if you want new lanes or faster routes, you'll have to help build them. This is a game changer for how rockets get off the ground. Let's break it down and see what this all means. So what's the new rule? Private space companies must now pay for any new or special upgrades they need at national launch ranges. In the past, the government paid to keep all the equipment modern and working for everyone. But now, with so many companies and unique rocket designs, the system was getting slow and expensive. The new policy: the government provides the basics: land, security, air traffic control. If a company wants something extra, they pay for it. Imagine the launch range as a public park. The government keeps it open, but if you want a private tennis court, you pay for it. This lets the government focus on national security, while the commercial market drives its own innovation. Companies like SpaceX or ULA will now fund their own new towers or facilities. This gives them more control but also adds significant cost. The Space Force hopes this will make companies think more like business owners, not just customers. It's a big experiment to create a more efficient, dynamic launch environment. The future of space launches just got a lot more business-minded. Let's use an analogy. The space launch industry is like a national delivery service. The government owns the main highways. For years they built and repaired them for free, even adding special lanes for big companies. But now, with so many trucks, rockets, and new companies, the roads are crowded and worn out. The government says, we'll keep the basic roads open, but if you want a special fast lane, you pay to build it. For big companies, building their own lane is a smart investment. They get more control and can innovate faster. But for small startups, it's a huge new expense. They might have great ideas, but can't afford their own lane. This could make it harder for them to compete and grow. The new policy could challenge small rocket startups to find creative ways to pay for the infrastructure they need. The industry is shifting. Big players can speed ahead, while newcomers face a tougher road. The rules of the space highway have changed. Who will adapt, and who will get left behind? That's the new reality. So, who wins and who struggles under this you-pay-you-play system? Big companies like SpaceX and ULA have the resources to build their own infrastructure. For them, it's just another investment, and a chance to move even faster. They can tailor facilities to their needs, launch more often, and strengthen their lead. But for small startups, the cost of building or upgrading launch pads is a huge hurdle. They might have brilliant ideas, but if they can't afford the pad, their rocket never leaves the ground. This could slow innovation from new entrants and make it harder for them to compete. Some may have to partner with the giants or look for launch sites in other countries. The policy could unintentionally protect the big players from new competition. The space race just got tougher for the little guys. Why is the Space Force making this change? It's about more than saving money. The goal is to modernize America's access to space and make the system faster and more flexible. The old government-managed way was reliable but slow. Now, space is crowded and competitive. Speed matters. By asking companies to invest, the Space Force treats them as business partners, not just customers. When companies have their own money on the line, they innovate and find efficient solutions. The number of commercial launches is skyrocketing, and the old system can't keep up. Shifting costs to companies lets infrastructure grow as fast as the market. The Space Force is betting that a self-sustaining space industry will be stronger and more innovative. The government's role is shifting, from operator to landlord and regulator. It's a bold step toward a future where space is a bustling frontier of commerce. The biggest effect of this policy? No more free rides to space. Companies must now factor launch facility costs into their business plans from day one. This forces new financial discipline and strategy. Rocket design isn't enough. Infrastructure planning is key. Competition will be about smart infrastructure as much as rocket tech. Companies might share costs, specialize in ground systems, or develop standardized plug-and-play launch pads. Paying for every nut and bolt encourages efficiency and reusability. The industry could see a revolution, like shipping containers did for global trade. The space business is growing up, moving from government-subsidized childhood to independent adulthood. Some companies won't survive, but those that do will be stronger and more innovative. The training wheels are off. Now, the industry must prove it can ride on its own. What does this mean for the future? Space is becoming a competitive marketplace, not just a government project. The government is now one customer among many, and companies will offer a range of services, luxury, budget, and everything in between. This business-first environment could unlock a wave of innovation, reusable rockets, eco-friendly fuels, automated launches. The goal? Make space access routine and affordable, just another part of our infrastructure. Think of how computers went from room-sized machines to smartphones in our pockets. Space could follow the same path. It won't be easy, but this policy could spark a revolution in space access. Should private companies pay their own way, even if it's tough for startups? Or should the government help everyone? There are no easy answers, but one thing's certain: the journey to space is getting more exciting every day. Keep looking up. The future of space is just getting started.